Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for stopping by the channel on this holiday week for another episode. Going to get into a few different things today. Have some cards that have come in from Sport Lots, really cool discount online site that we'll talk about. Going to look at some Star Wars cards, a couple of hockey cards, and then we're going to finish with some awesome baseball pickups, courtesy of Sport Lots as well. So let's start with the Star Wars. And I have two lots that came in here. And these are from the Star Wars High Tech release. Specifically, they're from the 2017 release. This set was put out 3 consecutive years, 2015 through 2017. And just as it is in the realm of baseball, if you're familiar with the set, it is done on acetate cardstock. So I got 2 lots of 4 cards each. These are just base cards. But in the first lot, I got a couple of villains. The one on the right from the episodes 1 through 3 trilogy, and the one on the left, Kylo Ren, from the episodes 7 through 9, the most recent trilogy. A couple of great cards there with red lightsabers on them, just awesome. I love the red nameplate with the red lightsaber, just really, really cool looking cards. These are just base cards, as I said. This was not a high-end product, but it's been a few years, so I could be off on this, but I want to say a hobby box was around $75 or $80, and you would only get like 8 cards total. So you're paying about $10 a card if I'm right. And so even these base cards aren't cheap. I love that they are see-through and shiny. I think this is like the perfect, high tech is a great card concept for a science fiction film franchise like Star Wars is. And so I think these cards are a perfect mashup. Here's R2-D2 and Rey, the protagonist of the most recent trilogy. I got these 2 alongside those first 2, and the total price for all 4 of those cards was $8. So I got about half the number of cards that you would have gotten in a hobby box for about 1/10 the price of a hobby box, and those are going to look really nice in my non-sport Z folio alongside this next quartet. Have another Darth Maul, so I got duplicates of that one, but I certainly have some Star Wars card trading friends that I could send that off to, or I really don't mind duplicates either. Got another Kylo Ren as well, but this one has a different background. You can see here, so there'll be multiple versions of the same card, and they'll have a different kind of rainbow foil pattern over the acetate in the background. So I'll have to look these up. I'm not familiar enough with the set to know what patterns these are or which of these is the rarer of the 2. I think it's this one, but I don't really care. I just get these because they look amazing, and they display really nicely in the Z folio as well, because you get that black backing from the Z folio page that kind of comes through the foil with these being acetate. And so my Star Wars or non-sport Z, the section that has these tech cards, looks really cool. And then how about this guy, Darth Sidious? It's not like I gravitate towards all the villains. These were just the cards that were the cheapest on Sport Lots. I picked all of these up on Sport Lots, which is a great discount site. I know I mentioned it recently, and I heard from a friend or 2 in the comments that they weren't familiar with it. The downside is you don't get to see pictures of your cards, but the upside is they're really, really cheap. Here's the last Star Wars card for today, Jyn Erso, the protagonist of the kind of Rogue One, which was, I guess, in between episodes 3 and 4, if you're a Star Wars nerd. But I really enjoyed that film. It was kind of a dark battle film, really a different feel than a lot of the other Star Wars movies, and I really enjoyed it. And so happy to get this Jyn Erso. And characters, for those who don't collect Star Wars cards or don't know, main characters like Rey and Jyn Erso tend to command a premium. So getting both of these in these 2 lots of 8 combined cards is pretty great, and happy to have those in the collection. So that's it for Star Wars content today, a little bit off the beaten path. I want to talk quickly next about hockey cards. And what you see up in the background there, those are 3 Upper Deck exclusives parallels, numbered to 100. This parallel goes all the way back to the late 90s. I talk about it all the time. Maybe the longest running serial numbered parallel that I'm aware of in any sport. I just love it for that reason. And the 3 that you see there are the 3 best players of that era in the NHL. Connor McDavid, Alex Ovechkin, and Sidney Crosby. 3 great images, 3 great cards. Really honored to have that trio. Well, recently I found a fourth card. This is a player who is definitely past his prime in this year, 2017, but who had a career that was every bit as good as the three guys that you see out in front of you. Was ended up, lucky enough to win this card. I think I was the only bidder, and really, really pleased to welcome and to complete the quartet of 2017 Upper Deck exclusives with this card, the great Jaromir Jagr. Guy played professionally until he was over 50 years old, holds all kinds of NHL records, or is at least high up, I should say, in the record books, alongside the likes of Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe. And that's even having missed some time and played over in Russia for a couple of years during the prime of his career. So his career numbers could be even better at the NHL level potentially. But yeah, this is his exclusives. You can clearly see from his brief stint with the Calgary Flames. Best known as a Pittsburgh Penguin, but as the years were winding down, at the tail end of his career, he played for quite a few different franchises, including my hometown Boston Bruins briefly. And so this is his stint with the Flames. Really pumped to have this. You can see the serial numbering, 57 of 100. And again, that just completes the quartet. So we've got, Jagr, Ovi below him, McDavid, and Sidney Crosby. Those are the four cards that I would want to have more than any other from the 2017 Upper Deck hockey set in exclusives format. So I'm glad to have that little mini collection complete. And I have one more on the exclusives front. So this card I've shown before. I actually have an entire run of Alex Ovechkin exclusives from his career. This is his third year card from 2007. And the reason I brought it out, even though I've shown it before, in last year's Upper Deck extended release, which is kind of like their update or traded set, they did throwback inserts to this 2007 design. And as they always do, or typically do in that set, they included exclusives. So this is the 2007 design. And then this card here, which I picked up, is the modern throwback version of it from the Upper Deck exclusives release from 2022-23. So kind of a 15-year anniversary throwback. And I don't make it a point to get all of these throwback exclusives, but what I love about this one, it's from the era where they were doing rainbow foil for the exclusive parallels on, the Upper Deck logo, the exclusives brand, and the player name. And I love that effect, and I love that Upper Deck maintained that here with the modern release. So pretty cool. They did whiff on getting a nice cursive Upper Deck exclusives like you see here on the border in foil. That would have been a nice touch, but so close but not perfect, and decided to grab that Ovi at a discount price to add that one to my run of Ovechkin exclusives. And then since I got the Ovi, picked up the McDavid as well, my other current favorite player on that nice rainbow foil throwback. McDavid, of course, was not in the league yet back in 2007, so this is really the only chance you have to get him on a 2007 design in exclusives format. So quite a great pair there. Both of these guys off to a little bit slower starts than I'd like to see this hockey season. However, in both cases, I just know the numbers are going to be there at the end of the year. As I'm taping this and airing it today on YouTube, McDavid had 2 goals just last night, as a matter of fact, and I think Ovi scored in his last game as well. So signs of those guys heating up. And after all that Star Wars and hockey talk, if you stuck with me, I know those aren't the most popular subjects here on YouTube. We're going to get to some baseball cards. Have a few that I picked up from Sport Lots in my box. And so the way this works is you buy cards on Sport Lots, and you have 2 different shipping options. There's a cost to ship the cards direct to you, which is generally slightly more money. And then most sellers offer a discount if you ship the cards to the box. And that's exactly what it sounds like. Sport Lots themselves, they maintain a box for you. And as you acquire cards and they get sent there, they get added into your box. And when you're ready, you can request to have your box shipped and pay one flat shipping rate to get all those cards. So you can save a ton of money on shipping. And as an example of how this works, here's a great David Ortiz card from 2022 Stadium Club. Pick this up. This was 57 cents on Sport Lots. And it may be a little hard to make out, but this is the red foil parallel, which is just great for a Red Sox card and for that American flag in the background. Pick this up because I love the image. I have the 2013 Topps short print that also features this speech. that took place after the Boston Marathon bombings. And the reason I have this in the episode today and to talk a little bit about the box, this card was 57 cents. Okay, that was my price to pick this up. Whoops. Now, if I wanted to get it shipped to my home from the seller, it was going to be like $2. So my cost would have been $2.50. But instead, I shipped it to my box, and it was free shipping to the box. They held on to it, Sport Lots, for me for maybe a year till I just recently shipped my box. And then I got this card along with like 30 others, and I paid about $7 in shipping to get all those shipped in one box together. So great way to save a little bit and economize your shipping costs and spread your hobby dollar a little bit further, which everybody likes to do. Next up, I have a couple of buybacks on the baseball front. So these are kind of cool. So Allen and Ginter in 2015, they did a buyback program. It was the 10th year that they had done the Allen and Ginter release, began in 2006. And for their 10th anniversary, they bought back a bunch of Allen and Ginter cards from the first 9 years of the product, stamped them with a 10th anniversary stamp, or gold foil stamp, and then issued them in packs of 2015 Allen and Ginter baseball. And I have 2 of these that I picked up on Sport Lots that were just so cheap that it was almost mind-blowing. So the first is a player that you don't hear as much about as I feel that you should, Alfonso Soriano for the Chicago Cubs. I love this guy because living in Connecticut in the mid to late 90s, I used to go to Norwich Navigators AA baseball games, and they were the AA franchise for the Yankees at the time. And Soriano was coming up through the organization and was a huge prospect and probably the most well-known or hyped player on the Navigators. So I have some of his Navigators cards from the 90s, and he went on to have a very successful not Hall of Fame, but Hall of Very Good career, and is definitely one of the better players of his generation, not in the Hall of Fame. Certainly deserves more hobby love. He had power, he had speed, he was just a really, really good all-around player. And I love this late career card of him with the Cubs because it so prominently features that Wrigley Ivy in the background as well. And it just has an awesome old school feel to it for a card that came out originally in 2012. And then, as you can see on the right, was stamped with this 10th anniversary issue foil stamp, and then inserted into a pack of 2015 Allen and Ginter. So awesome Soriano there. And then that same seller had another card available. I should mention too, this Soriano buyback was 61 cents. So there you have it. And then for 81 cents, even more happy about this one. How about a Napoleon Bonaparte card? Buyback card. Of course, new movie just coming out about Napoleon. As a fan of history and a fan of buybacks, I just think this card is awesome. And I love the buyback element. You know, it creates a little bit of, I know it's artificial, but it creates a little scarcity, and it makes the card more fun to me than simply going on and for 18 cents, picking up a base card of Napoleon Bonaparte. I just like having the buyback version. Nobody knows how many of these are out there. I'm willing to bet it's less than 25. And yeah, I just love the idea that this card was out in the world from 2009 when it was pulled from a pack until Topps bought it back, stamped it, and put it again in a pack of 2015 Allen and Ginter. I would have been pumped to pull one of these, and was equally pumped to find this for just 81 cents on Sport Lots. And then the final card for today, also from Sport Lots, and this is just a plain fun card. I love the image on this one. It is from Topps Stadium Club, and it is Stadium Club photography at its finest. It's a player that I love collecting, Mike Trout, from the 2016 Stadium Club release. The image on this card is just awesome. Let me get the painter's tape off so we can actually take this out of its case and enjoy it in its full glory. Check this card out. This is the black foil parallel of Mike Trout's 2016 Topps Stadium Club with the giant oversized bobblehead at Angel Stadium. I mean, how awesome is that? I'm just a sucker for like gimmicky and fun cards. Many of us started in this hobby as kids, and cards like this just take me right back. I would have loved this as a 7-year-old if I was younger when this set came out, or I would have loved a card like this back in the early 90s, and I love this card today as an adult. It's just fun, great smile on Mike Trout's face, and you know what? you can have a million Mike Trout cards in your collection, and most of them are going to feature him, taking a big hack or running the bases, and it's just refreshing and a little bit different to see one with just a really unique and fun image like this. I don't know if I overpaid for this or not, but did want to get a couple of different parallels of this card, and this black foil version cost me $10 with free shipping. So just a fun Mike Trout to end it there. It's not every day you get to see a giant life-size bobblehead on a baseball card. And that's also the final card for today's episode, so we're going to wrap it. With Thanksgiving week being this week, I'm certainly thankful for all of you who take the time to watch these videos and interact here in the community. I appreciate it so much. And in particular, I'm thinking of one hobby friend, a good friend of mine who had a tough loss this week. If he sees this, he'll know who he is. So I'm thinking of you. You're in my thoughts. And to everybody else, thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a wonderful holiday. I'll certainly be back over the long holiday weekend here with some more great content. Until then, hope you all enjoy the hobby. Take care.